Good morning. How are we doing today? Let's go, let's get it. The SPY is going nuts this morning. We are seeing a big uptrend coming into play, at least early on today, given the jobs data release. How is everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. It's hump day, it's a live Q&A day as well. Let's go. Nothing beats Q&A day. Except for this jobs data that's getting the SPY pushing towards all-time highs. This is a fantastic move that we are seeing come through here with the SPY pushing through 697. The jobs report was fantastic. It showed 130,000 jobs in January over estimates of like 70,000. So that is huge. Rose by the most in over a year. And here, check out this chart really quick. Here it is. I'm just zooming in as much as I can, as much as CNBC will allow. Monthly job creation in the U.S. 2026, January, 130K added. In December, only 48K. So, like it says there at the top, report eases economy concerns. Yep, exactly. Moving towards 697. Now, something that this didn't do is it didn't help the rate cut situation. So for those people that want cuts, the Fed decision in March just got pushed closer towards maintaining the rate. If we go to the one-day change, you can see this morning, early on, it was sitting at 78.6% chance of pausing at their next meeting. After this jobs release, it's now sitting at 93%. It's a pretty big jump. It's like 15%. It's a 15% jump. Crazy price action though. Love to see it with the SPY moving higher. I know we did a poll yesterday. Would SPY make new highs this week? Or maybe I did it Monday. And new highs won with an overwhelming majority of the vote. TNA Day. Wolf Killer. Jake. Tangy. Manicure. Toro. Zach. Steve. Alexander. Mason. Rick. Let's go. That action with SPY is awesome. It's good to see the market reacting in a positive way from this so far. SPY is not far from highs. Whenever I was looking at open, it was essentially like 0.25% away. It's probably even better now. Let's see. The all-time high is 698.34. 0.24%. I was pretty much on the money there. RSB Brain. Uh-oh, SPY pulling back now. A little slight pullback. Nothing too crazy yet. Hopefully we get a good directional move, though. Bob. Welcome in. Tech was really moving from this as well. We can see NVIDIA was popping up 1.88%. If we go to the Mag 7, every Mag 7 stock's green. Oh, Microsoft just barely went red. Barely, but they were green. They were green. Amazon, bottom right-hand corner, now just went red too. Some of them are starting to pull back pretty harshly. SPY falling now, 696. This tech turns around a little bit, but doesn't mean SPY is going to go down all day or end up red on the day. It'll probably be tough to end up red. Yeah, it'll be tough to end up red. It'll have to get down to like 188.50 or lower at close. Even if it just bounces off the 190 support, it would still be green. At least with Nvidia here. A lot of these tech stocks. Let's see how Tesla looks. Tesla would have to get pretty far down too. Up 2.11%. Let's go check on Amazon, because that was one of the ones that was kind of bleeding off. Oh yeah. They're already breaking down 206.50. Amazon's been pretty weak lately. Looks like they are turning it back around. Resistance is holding up very well. Tangi said, sell, get out while you can. That's funny. Oh yeah. Amazon pulling back like crazy. This is getting pretty bearish here with Amazon, guys. Might not be bad looking at some bearish opportunities, of course. If you haven't already, I know a lot of you have been pretty bearish on Amazon lately, so. That jobs report, though, was just so strong. It was so good to see that come in. Nice. Even the unemployment rate came in a little low, which is good. But as we know, that doesn't mean SPY has to continue ripping, but I would look at still more bullish price action as the day goes forward, even if it does have pullbacks time and again. And if you're a really quick scalper out there, you know, you could be trading the pullbacks, doing lots of stuff in that sense. Need Amazon at 198.11 by Friday. 198.11. Where are we at now? Ooh. That's fairly far away there. I don't know. It's definitely doable given Amazon's candles, though. That's for sure. Definitely doable. It does seem like strange price action the past few days following that huge drop-off they had. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned back and got there, honestly. There's just not much time left of the week. How are banks reacting so far today? Hourly chart, not the best. 15-minute. Yeah, Bank of America not looking too great today. JP Morgan. At least they're up 1.5%, but kind of rejecting back down here, kind of like the SPY. Resistance is holding up, it looks like. The upper end of that range that I drew broke just ever so slightly, but 697 ended up holding. Yesterday, I was looking at this big range on the SPY, and of course, the SPY is staying within the range. I was definitely looking for a directional move out of the range at some point here today. Maybe we'll still get it, but obviously, it'll be off of this pullback if it comes. Pullback is starting to solidify a bit more. Any thoughts on silver? That's a good point. How is silver and gold reacting so far today? They reacted in a pretty bad way. I guess as, like, economic concerns go away slightly, I guess silver and gold popped down a bit, but silver's up 3.4% on the day, even with that pullback, because they gapped up like nuts this morning. Gold is almost back to break even. Of course, not as volatile as silver. Gold and silver have been trying to recover here on the charts a little bit. Silver more towards the lower end of its range, I'd say. Gold has been doing a bit better, but both of them still look fairly strong. There's not a ton of selling pressure that is truly hitting here. Nothing that's too concerning, but if we start to break under that low from yesterday, I'll be a bit concerned with gold at least. Silver, yeah, same deal. That low from yesterday will be in play, especially the gap fill here too with SLV. But let's look at silver itself. Okay. It's like there's some short-term support here around 83.35 an ounce, and then you go down like this 82 an ounce support as well. Pulling back pretty good though. Definitely more of a bearish move today so far, so I'm leaning down on gold and silver so far. Might be hard to call the bottom on those. At least the true bottom today. Of course, for quick scalps, you can try to trade a little slight uptrend quick or something like that, but I feel like the bottom's going to be hard to call in there. RBA at an all-time high double top. Oh, wow. It is double topping pretty good. The stock seems like it's pretty slow for the most part, but I do like the play possibly off resistance. There's always a shot it still just rips right through, but not sure which way you're really looking at it. Earnings are coming up on next Tuesday, actually, February. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. February 17th. Elite says, just completely got out of Exxon for a total gain of 16,500. What a damn call, Tom. Got in at 126. I'm out. Were you in on the big money trade? My gosh, I know that is one of the craziest moves that we've seen lately. That is a huge one, isn't it? ZOM still going 2.5%. I almost can't even believe it. Really, I almost can't believe it. You know what else is still going is good old UPS. UPS pushing through 120 today. Wow. About to test this gap on the daily chart. Now that is wild. Not as wild, though, as some of these other movers that have been running lately. SNDK is actually starting to come back a bit today. I don't know if you guys have been watching that at all, but SNDK at open just ripped up to $600. Holy shit. What a run. Watch for $600 to break. SNDK coming up for another move here. Steve said, just when you think it's going to go to 700, it rejects. On the SPY, I know. Yep. Every time lately. Hims just can't catch a break. No, they can't. Down again. Watch out for this stock. This is a falling knife. There's a lot of these growth stocks that are falling off like this lately, and you got to be careful with these. Got to be real careful. Tesla, there we go, 2.15%. Yeah, Mason, it actually bounced off 60K recently. Last Thursday. That was pretty wild, though. Very quick bounce. Held up. Man, today it looks pretty rough again, though. Really failing to get past resistance. I've had that level on my chart for a long time on Bitcoin, and it rejected right there this morning. Kind of funny. Look at that 5-minute Lumen candle. Oh, that is nice. LUMN up 5%. Over its average daily rise, too. Just a little bit, but LUMN pushing that resistance from the past few days. That would be a big break here. Ooh. Yeah, LUMN. Let's catch a breakout. Hey friends, what's up, Chase? 100%, I remember you, Chase. Chase G. Although it says your full username for some reason now, but... OG of the chat, coming back in. How you doing? It's a good idea, Coconut said. NVIDIA is getting Nokia to build AI agents and cellular base stations instead of data centers. I did something very similar back in the 90s. AI agents and cellular base stations instead of data centers. Wow. Okay. Nokia's up 2.2% today. Looking at the daily, they've actually done pretty good. Into the end of 2025, I kind of forgot about that rip that they had. Nokia is an interesting stock here. It is starting to move a lot more now, though. Remember when it ripped with the meme stocks back in 21? Oh, that was wild. Popped up a ton there in just a couple days. You saw the jobs report and got fired up. There we go. Yeah, we've been hitting on the jobs report almost all morning here. For those of you that have just now joined up, I guess we can go over it one more time. SPY hitting 697, rejecting back a little bit. Overall, though, more bullish price action than bearish on the SPY this morning. Not from open, but at least from pre-market if you count that. But yeah, the jobs report was fantastic. U.S. added 130,000 jobs in January, destroyed expectations of around 70,000 jobs. It was one of the best things that we've seen there. Now, it did say revisions to the prior year showed a slowdown in hiring. Job gains averaged only 15,000 a month last year, down from the initial reported 49,000 pace. So a little bit negative, but again, that's last year. Now, this is where the revisions get weird. Annual revisions Wednesday showed job growth was almost 900,000 lower in the 12 months through March 2025 than initially reported. But it did align with what the BLS preliminary estimate suggested. So I find that very strange, though. They always have these big revisions down on the jobs data. So while this one was great, who knows? Maybe this one will get revised down a lot too. Seems like that happens quite a bit, but we'll see what happens with some of these revisions coming up down the line. Overall, though, it's good to see that the economy, the jobs, at least that portion of the economy was not as negative here. The unemployment rate even dropped by 0.1% to 4.3 from 4.4. So that's not too bad either, but it's interesting. The market really liked it, though, even though it didn't help the chance of rate cuts. If we look at the Fed decision in March, the chance of a pause at the next Fed decision is sitting at 92%, or the chance of the Fed maintaining their rates. SPY is now dipping again, breaking through its low from open, 695, starting to test here and break down a little bit. Turning back over for a secondary drop here. Not the best move that you want to see from SPY, starting out with such a good bullish move today. At least not the move I wanted to see. Maybe somebody out there did, but you're going to lose your mind when SPY hits 700. Hopefully it's soon. Hopefully soon. Ooh, Trump posted on Truth. Mason put it in the Discord real quick. I'm going to go grab something. Let's go ahead and see what he has here. Here it is, 5 minutes ago. Just in, jobs numbers far greater than expected. The United States of America should be paying much less in its borrowings, bonds. We are here again, the strongest country in the world, and should therefore be paying the lowest interest rate by far. This would be an interest cost savings of at least $1 trillion per year. Balanced budget plus. Wow. The golden age of America is upon us, President DJT. Very, very interesting with what Trump is saying here. Great jobs numbers. SPY falling down. Wow, I love that move in pre-market. Too bad we couldn't trade SPY options right there. That would have been nice. Soon. Yeah, he puts that at the end of every one, Jake. That's funny. Thanks for your attention to this matter. Why is SoFi not participating? They did it first. They're now down 2.5% though. Pulling back down. We have to remember SoFi is kind of in a world of its own. It does have strong correlation to SPY though, which is interesting, but I would say it definitely moves more on its own accord. Raphael says, any good buys? Gosh, right now everything started kind of turning over. Tesla was looking pretty good for a buy this morning. They have a clear double top here. Could be a possible dip buy scenario going here into the later part of the morning. Seeing if we have any cool charts or anything with the jobs data. Wow, that jobs data came in better than 78 out of 80 economists' estimates at Bloomberg. Wow. Now that's a big piece of data. Scanning through the headlines, nothing really that new there. Nothing that new hitting here. Kraft Heinz pauses work to split the company as new CEO says challenges are fixable. How is Kraft Heinz today? I think they had earnings. They're down 2.29%, but they're trying to make a comeback. Kraft Heinz has been following well, they've just been in a massive downtrend in general. Not that they're necessarily following a channel or a trend, but they're kind of on this channel and on this trend. It's been interesting to see them drop down recently. Trying to make the comeback, though. Had those earnings today. Very interesting. It's not a stock that I necessarily love, but we do look at it from time to time as it can trend fairly well, but lately it's been awful, so I haven't touched it. Maybe a big money trade here and again or something with it, but unless we see that, not really my favorite out there. At least until we start to see some better price action like we used to. Hood is down pretty hard like SoFi right now. Did they have earnings last night? But they're breaking down through that low. Pretty negative. 11% today. Wow, breaking through the low from earnings. Pushing down today. They were really selling off in the short term there. That was their chance to maybe start solidifying a comeback, but unfortunately did not happen. Did not happen there. You got so many options on SoFi, you should just apply at the company. That's funny. SoFi's been a pretty big name the past few years, of course. A lot of people like the volatility with SoFi. There's been some big money trades with puts from around the end of last year. Gosh, that one from December 17th was nice, but A lot of people probably got stopped out as it hit 30 before falling again. It held on resistance. How about Novo today? Pulling back as well. I know Hims was another one that was pretty rough. Looks like they actually made a bounce back though. Alfred doesn't believe the jobs report. I don't blame you. Who knows? It'll probably get revised down. Yeah, I think they did pause their separation. That was one of the headlines. Let me go back and see if I can read that headline again. Where'd it go? It says, Kraft Heinz pauses work to split the company as new CEO says challenges are fixable. OKLO? Oh no, another crazy one. Oklo always has a big move. It's only down 2% today, so not as bad as it could be. Its average percent drop is 4.14%. With our stats in the bottom right-hand corner there. Yeah, a lot of those growth stocks are moving lower again today, especially in that, we'll say, nuclear / energy sector. I bet U looks bad too. Well, it's actually up 1%, but if you look at the intraday pullback, it's not good. SPY started pulling back pretty harshly there again, down to 694. Almost giving back all of the gains, but ended up bouncing off little support. Kraft's problem was its CEO. Hopefully he can fix it, Jake said. Man, SPY just gave out the gains again. There we go. It officially is right where essentially it was whenever the jobs report happened this morning. Just gave it all back. Definitely making the put players excited today, but watch out as it gets towards support here. I think it'll be tough to see it sell lower, but you never know. The SPY can be wild. This range has been insane. Generally seeing good bounces here, but again, today's a bit different. Yeah, the good guy. It really wasn't, at least not for now. Don't forget, though, we do have a huge CPI event coming out in 2 days as well. Inflation rate year over year, core inflation rate. CPI, all 1 hour before open on Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Of course, that can impact the market in a crazy way as well. Maybe that'll be what gets the market really ripping towards highs. Look at that inflation rate year over year. They're expecting inflation to jump down a little bit, which would be a good sign. That would be a really good sign. Even the core rate year over year expected to drop slightly. I honestly think if that happens, it kind of offsets the jobs data as far as the cut chance goes. But I guess we'll see how the market places it. If we look at the odds for March, it's still sitting at 92% chance of pause right now on Kalshi. Cut sitting at 8%. Friday might get us a lot more clarity. No, it's pretty normal. February generally is pretty flat or more negative. Definitely is. Check on UPS again. Holding its ground okay today, trying to hold 120 intraday. Might not get it done with the pullbacks coming through. Let's pull up the watch list. Look at what's leading that today. Oh yeah, SNDK, of course. I forgot it. They haven't been able to break through 600 in a meaningful way, though. They had that nice opening run. There's been some good runs back towards 600 on some of these dips, but not really blasting through it. I guess it technically hit 608, but this is just such a volatile stock that it's insane how much it reacts and how quickly you'll see like a 1 minute candle, for example, have like $8 within it. It's also just a high price stock, $600. But hey, let's go, Demure. Wanted to say hi real quick? Hey, let's go. Have a great day, man. Have a profitable week. Let's go. Nice breakfast. MU's actually up 6% today. I didn't realize that they were up that much. Micron, second on the watch list there. Really explosive. They were kind of running before the data even released. And then really popped after, of course, but Micron on the daily. Yeah, that was a decent pop back. Rejected right where resistance was, though, which is a slight negative there. You can see that wick on the daily from January 23rd. Tested that this morning. That is Thinkorswim, Ray. British Petroleum. Let's go see CLF. They're up today, but again, a lot of these daily charts look terrible. I'm going to go back to the 5-minute. There we go. Ooh. SPY falling back down to our bottom zone here. Now, this is where I could expect a bounce to come through pretty much any time. Now, the sell-off is pretty rough, so there's always a shot that it breaks right through, but it's held this zone beautifully the past few trading days. I'm going to take the watch list away just so I can show where it's touched here, because some of these touches on this have been pretty nice, actually, even with some good volume coming through. Where it's held up. This is a strange reaction to the jobs report, though. SPY gave back all the gains and is about to actually maybe go red on the day. Almost at break even at this point. It's right down there. Palantir. Go to that hourly on pounds here, because it's at levels it hasn't been at in a long time. This is a big area, though, for Palantir. 135, 134.50. SPY down through 692.50, getting towards 692 even, which is more right of where support is literally at, is right where SPY is right now. But SPY, it looks like a freight train, or it looks like a snowball, or a cliff jump, a landslide, whatever you want to call it. It is blasting down. Wow. This is mind-blowing price action for me today. All right, I'm curious what you guys think. I just threw a poll out there. Does this price action surprise you after the initial bullish move today? You can say yes, surprising, no, not surprised at all. I don't care, let's trade it. Curious what you guys think here as SPY tests this major zone, which it's falling right through, so it's technically already through the zone. But we're going to be watching 690 now past this point. I really like this 688.50 to 689 zone here, though, below here, because 690 is not the strongest, but we'll see if it can hold. That is one hell of a sell-off, though. How is VIX looking today? VIX is explosive. Let's go to the daily chart of VIX. UVXY is going to be up a ton. Oh, only 1.5%. I'm surprised. I guess that's because of the initial bullish move this morning. Kind of made UVXY open up lower. But if we go from the low of the day to the high of the day here, watch this. It popped up 5%. Now that sounds better. Oh, here we go. SPY starting to bounce right off 691, the lower end of the range there. Okay. At least a little bit for now. Slight green candles, slight green hit back. The good guy said Vertiv earnings looks good, it seems. VRT for Vertiv. I haven't followed them, but they're up 18%. Wow. Yeah, it was good. Look at VRT. Oh my gosh. The poor put players from that big money trade, that thing's going to get smoked right now, but VRT just blasted through resistance. That is a huge run there on earnings. Now that's how I wish stocks would move on earnings, right there. Blasting through resistance like that. If only that happened every time, it'd be a feast each time. Made a day. Made my day on QQQ puts. I'm out, Bob said. Nice, beautiful. Good job adapting into the puts there. I like to hear it, Bob. Whoa, the crowd likes it too. Sounds good. I like the mindset too. Have a great one, Bob. Don't push it, of course. QQQ still looks pretty bad here, though, if I must say so. Same with the SPY. Even though it had that slight green candle, it's not overly confidence building. Doesn't exude confidence quite yet. At least for a true shift back. Look at that 691 breaking down. All right. Bouncing very well. See if we can continue down or not. That'll be a pretty big move, though, if we do continue down. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be jumping onto the bandwagon there, so to speak. Look at the tech stocks here, see if there's any shot that we do continue down. There's always a shot, right? What's that scene from Dumb and Dumber? So you're telling me there's a chance. There goes Google to the downside. That could help add some fuel. Meta still looks terrible too, just like Google. Sitting there at the low of its day. Microsoft still going too. Actively pushing low of the day. There goes SPY. Breaking 691. Notice how the volume picked up here on that sell-off as it started to really accelerate there. A lot of volume started hitting. Apple's holding up well right now. Compared to most, it's up 1.13%. Apple's actually starting to push. Let's go look at Apple. It's pushing that high of the day here. Yes, under 690 would be huge today, Mason. How much is SPY down from its high of the day? Because it's quite a bit, I think. 0.93% drop. It's pretty nasty. I think that there's a good shot that we get there, given today's bleed so far. Sometimes whenever we see the SPY make these wild moves like this, it can last for a long time throughout the day and get pretty damn low. What a weird shift on that reaction to the jobs report, though. Seriously, vote up in that poll. Does the price action surprise you after the initial bullish move today? I think it's pretty surprising, personally. It's a pretty big turnaround, especially just like price action wise. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if SPY just fell a little bit and, you know, kind of consolidated, chopped around, maybe moved lower a little bit throughout the day, but this is a pretty stiff drop. Man, Mason, it's only 50 cents away from 690 now. It's already almost there. This is crazy what's going on right now. Mike posted up a few minutes ago that Trump is considering exiting the USMCA, which is the US-Mexico-Canada agreement, a deal he negotiated, per Axios. Oh, that could be really what started to fuel some of this, at least. It's a big sell-off. Fed Schmidt said additional rate cuts might permit higher inflation to continue for a longer time. Current inflation rate indicates demand remains strong and surpasses improvements in supply. Uh-oh. The CBO was speaking about 19 minutes ago. Debt to GDP ratio to surpass 1946 record in 2030. They had a full summary, though. That could have played a big role, but came out about 18 minutes ago. Touch 690 already. The taco trade, good guy. No rate cuts equal drop, Toby said. I know, I was surprised the market was up so much in pre-market, honestly. But it seemed really strong. It seemed like, you know, the fears for the economy were kind of going down a bit this morning. SPY was getting close to all-time highs. It was literally like 0.25% away. But you're right. That Fed decision for March is, you know, it's getting more solidified towards a pause. A pause. It's going to be March 18th. Don't quote me there. It might not really be March 18th. Let me go to Fed Watch tool really quick. Just to triple check. Yep, it is March 18th. The CME Fed Watch tool is showing a 94.1% chance of pause now. But I like how Kalshi has this chart where it shows it really solidifying more towards the pause, which is a pretty huge deal. Wow, there it goes, Mason. Through 690. 690's breaking down. Pretty huge sell-off coming through. Look at Intel. You got in puts at 49.40. Couldn't have been any better. Great call in the video last night. Let's go. Yeah, Intel to the downside. Fell down pretty well here. Came back nice to the downside. It didn't really break through the low from yesterday yet, but I'm glad that you were able to hit on it here at open. Great stuff. You're not sure that we're gonna get the recovery today like we normally do, Steven said. I don't know either. This is a pretty bad bleed. Imagine if the SPY recovered all the way back up, though. That would be pretty hilarious. Oz in the Discord said, manipulation. That is a weird move today, I gotta say. Mason says, my puts are printing, I love you tweets. Yeah, Trump keeps tweeting. Market keeps falling. He tried to be pretty optimistic, it seemed like, with his tweet. But didn't help. Not one bit. Not even close. Man, that dip is pretty strong. Are we still going to continue down today? That's the $1 million question. It's getting pretty low at this point. It's really hard to justify the continuation lower. Go back to Mag 7 really fast. Things are starting to bounce slightly. I feel like we're getting to that point today, though, where we're getting so low. But the SPY loves to bleed off on days like this. Again, we're only 1 hour into open, and look at how bloody it's been. I've seen these sell-offs last much longer than this, of course. But you got to be ready to adapt if it does start to confirm a good move back. How was oil stocks today? I know people were looking at ZOM earlier this morning, really loving on it with the way it was moving up, still ripping 2.4%. It's not making new highs of the day, but it's definitely having a stronger move here. This has been a wild week. Another big day for me and out. There you go, degenerate Merc. Take advantage of the volatility, right? Whenever there's high volatile moves like this, it creates really good opportunities for options traders. So, good stuff there. Round of applause. Banks pulling back a bit. Go check on airlines and cruise lines, which have been pretty explosive lately. Damn, following their attempt at resistance yesterday, LUV back down today. NCLH was having some, sorry, mistyped there. NCLH had some good action yesterday too, also pulling back. How about UAL, AAL? Yeah, everything's kind of pulling back on that side of things here. Looking at the watch list, a lot of stocks that were up this morning have been pulling back and falling down. Crude oil, though. Nice pop up to 65.50 a barrel. Look at the daily chart. It's starting to get closer to resistance. Might actually go for a resistance breakout here over the next couple trading days. Do you know what would really help a breakout here? Something with Iran. Is something going to go on with Iran, right? Yeah, what's up with Apple today, Jake? It really is outperforming many other stocks. And look at it here today, up 1.65%, having a huge influence on the S&P. It did end up going for that breakout and made it happen. Great bounce back. SPY is forming, I would say, its first true base of the day. There's actually a true area of support that SPY is starting to form and bounce off of as of right now. Does that mean it's going to continue to hold up today? Definitely not, but keep your eyes on this base to see if it does hold up a bit more for some intraday reaction. It'd be interesting to see SPY like pop back towards like resistance, like 692. It's really not too far off. It could get there very quickly, but I'll be curious to see how it does there or reacts. You're at McDonald's this morning. It's half full. Pretty good. MCD, speaking of that, how's the stock? I know they had earnings. Oh. Fell off a little bit here, nothing too bad yet. When do they truly report? Tonight? I lost my earnings calendar. Pull it back up. Oh no, it was this morning. It's not showing up here on TradingView for some reason. It's saying tonight. It might not have been confirmed on Earnings Whispers. Yeah, it wasn't confirmed. That's what it is. Whenever they put that out, it must not have been confirmed yet. That does happen sometimes. Yep, it is after close today. Confirmed. On February 11th. Yeah, look at how on their picture it says pre-market, though, just so you guys don't think I'm crazy. It says pre-market today. McDonald's, 320 coming up. Looking at UPS, starting to kind of consolidate a little bit today. Might be a decent intraday opportunity back to the upside here. United Parcel Service. 119.50, 119.70 zone holding up. Does seem like it's forming a good base, though. Back to the SPY with its base. Still recovering off that low of the day now, which is good. This is the most green that we've seen yet today. At least the better upside green move from open. Not counting pre-market. QQQ. Attempting to recover. Let's look at some of these bigger chip stocks. Like NVIDIA, which would play a big role in SPY. And its price action. Pushing towards resistance closer to 190 right now. Advanced Money Destroyer down towards 209 to 210 support. Bounced off of a big level that I've had on the chart for it for the past few days, couple weeks. Attempting a bit of a recovery. Might not be a bad opportunity back up here if you're looking for some scalps. It doesn't mean the uptrend has to hold here, but it is one of the better pops back so far today. Apple's the only company not spending on AI. It's really helping them. I mean, they're spending, but I know what you mean. It's not like the others, for sure. It's not like as big of a build out. You know, if they'll update the Mag 7, I think MU is a good chance. If you look, a lot of ETFs are holding more MU over Nvidia. Really? Are they really, Jake? Just, you know, there's a lot of ETFs out there. Just make sure you're looking at some of the big boys out there. If you have any tickers that do that, that might blow my mind, feel free to throw one. Apple's just waiting a couple years so they can invent AI. What? So far, after 45 votes, 56% of you said that this was pretty surprising price action today following that initial bullish move. My gosh, if SPY breaks through 692 here and starts to mount a full comeback, that's going to be insane. It's still roaring up, though, literally right up to 692 resistance right now. What a range. Man. 692 resistance is starting to hit a little. Last time it was around 692 here. I'm pointing to these couple hits so you guys can see the price action. Off 692. Tom, thoughts on shorting service now, or did you miss the train? I don't think that you missed the train yet. I think that you could still short it where it is now. It's very low, and I could see support giving out. It's almost impossible to call the bottoms on these. I wouldn't hold it for too long, though, really. I would get in a short. I would exit pretty quick, because you never know when it's going to make that bounce back. Yeah, it's breaking back through 100 today. Pretty rough, especially if it solidifies the move under 100 here. Palantir's down 4%. I'm surprised I haven't seen more people mention Palantir falling down again. It's a pretty bad pullback by Palantir. Are you guys still fans of Palantir out there right now? Is there anybody buying up this dip, or are you being patient? I think it's good to be patient right now with Palantir. It just broke through a big zone of support, and Palantir's been known to be one of the more overpriced stocks. And plus, hey, Michael Burry talked about Palantir in a negative way. He just talked about him again like a day or two ago. Palantir recently, though, pulled back under support. It tried to bounce off and then ultimately fell through on the 4th of February, and then recently, yesterday, rejected off of that resistance again. And that confirmation off of resistance is not a good bullish sign at all. The good guy's scared of trading it at the moment. I don't mind it down. How's the IV on it? Like a daily, let's see. It's like right in the middle of the range. Fairly elevated, though, for the most part. Looks like it's starting to actually rise a little bit as Palantir dips back again, which could be fun. You know, you get into some put opportunities now. Maybe IV rises up to 72% or something, you know, helps you out a bit as it drops. Not a bad way to look at it. Tangy Man's buying Palantir, but slowly, slowly, slowly. I like the emphasis there. Very slowly. Looking at some new headlines here hitting. Fed's Schmid said break-even job growth rate is likely approximately 40 or 50K per month. Let's go see what Bloomberg's looking at with this jobs data today. If there's any new updates. I think the Congressional Budget Office coming out with their boost on the deficit is pretty bad. They jacked up its estimate of deficits for the coming decade by $1.4 trillion. That's a pretty rough thing to see. That's some pretty big data there. Let's go pull that up for you guys really quick. Pretty big data though. The losses are projected to outweigh Trump's dramatic import duties, which have taken the average effective tariff rate above 13%, according to estimates from Bloomberg Economics, the highest since at least 1940s. The CBO projects the increased revenue from tariffs will reduce deficits by $3 trillion. Okay. There goes SPY roaring back. It couldn't get through 692. We talked about that being a very large area of resistance there. A lot of bull traps happening to gullible buyers. Yeah. It depends. You know, there could be some buyers that, you know, let's say that they scalp it and they trade it up for like 2 to 5 candles right there. They sell out real quick. They're done. But I know what you mean. There's definitely a lot of traps there. A lot of traps. If we hold this strong reversal up, you think SNDK can make a decent move up with the market? I think it could too. SNDK is a big mover lately. It's ran a lot today though. Look, seems like some of these stocks like AMD and others are kind of moving up better with the market here from lows of the day. Anyways. But yeah, SNDK could get going. It'd be nice to see it really rip past 592 here, right at this recent high, and really get back towards the high of day today at like 607.50. But I'd really like to see a good confirmation back up from here, though. A lot of bull traps happening. Gullible buyers today. There goes SPY ripping back. 692 truly testing now. We'll see if those buyers are truly gullible or not. Seems interesting where the SPY is bouncing here. See if this pullback really continues. Those are 3 pretty decent candles there. Not seeing too much on the news. No crazy headlines yet. Man, ZOM is beautiful again. 2.68%. Wow. Really outperforming today. Right at the high of the day, too. Beautiful. Taiwan Semiconductors, 4th on the watch list, up 3.8%. Pretty decent price action. Caterpillar, a good move today as well. I don't think people have realized how well Caterpillar's been moving here the past few years. Holy shit. Caterpillar's known to be like a slow-moving stock, and from like right before the COVID drop to now, it's up 476% in like 6 years. That is wild. What a great initial green move today. Gave it all back. SPY's trying to mount the comeback now, though. Right back to the top end of this lower range, 692.50. Got through 692, no problem so far. All right, let's go ahead and end this poll here. 52 votes in the poll. We'll take it. Cantanzi says, I have a cat. What? Tansy Man said, I sold my Palantir call this morning for a 12% gain, then you bought the same call back 10 minutes later for $100 less. Where did the cat comment come from? What? Oklo is following the market back up. Yeah, a little bit. That's kind of not the best uptrend there from Oklo. It's decent from the low of the day, don't get me wrong. It doesn't even seem as like strong as SPY's uptrend. At least length of candle wise. You're long on Oklo if things confirm more. Oh, interesting. It is getting close to support on the daily. I'm getting worried that some of these growth stocks are going to fall through support, though. Some of them are starting to get a bit weak. You have favor on Oklo from past gains? Uh-oh. It's always good to keep looking at some stocks, though. You know, some people, you'll naturally become attracted to some stocks over others. It's good to see. Oklo, HYMC, Rocket Lab, best swings you've ever done. BMNR is your best day trade ever. $10,000 with 1,000 shares in only a few minutes. Wow. On BMNR? It's had some wild price action. I'm not surprised to hear you say that. Was it back when it went nuts in July? June and July? It had to have been. Had to have been. That's wild, though. That's awesome to hear, though. A few minutes, make 10 grand. Awesome trade. Tesla's trying to rip through intraday resistance, still recovering up here slowly but surely with the market. Nvidia holding above 190, just bounced off of it in a pretty great way. Love hearing it, Dylan. Boeing coming up off the dip, too. Interesting one today. Haven't been a big Boeing fan in the short term, but they can have big price action time and again. Palantir, not the best recovery up from lows with the market. I would say it doesn't look as strong or as directional. Look at SPY get choppy here at 692.50. Technically it's 692.60, but at least it's holding its ground. It's not like rejecting back down right away or anything. It's a good sign to see it hold its ground like that. Watch the SPY just slowly chop back up all day long. Yeah, higher risk, high reward, Steven. Try not to go too crazy, though. Don't want to blow up, right? Sometimes your way is safer, Steven. Much safer. QQQ now pulling back a little bit. Go look at Mag 7. I am up here. Nvidia slowing down. Everything's pretty much slowing down at the moment. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Meta, all started pulling back a bit. Seems like we'll never hold over 700. Thanks, Tom Lee. We haven't even gotten to 700 yet. I'm still waiting for the day. Trade the same way, usually 2 to 3 trades between 8:30 and 11 a.m. then you're out. Definitely can be stressful, but consistent 2 to 5% daily growth, that's awesome to hear. As long as the down days are okay. You're out with Tom every day? That's pretty much when you call it. Robert, you said you could take a break, but you wanted to stop by on usual thoughts on gold and KBE. Thanks as always, Robert. You surprised me today. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Gold and KBE, GLD right now, with the jobs report today, has not really fallen off that much. Now, there was some negativity at first with the jobs reading, but there's also something that started to hit with Trump and the deficit going up, which could definitely help gold and silver as traders still shift away from U.S. bonds and they start to shift into metals and other assets. But I really like this gold opportunity right now. I feel like in the ultra short term, gold has the potential to continue to uptrend here, possibly fill the gap and test resistance. Now, I'm not saying it's going to run up the new all-time highs, anything like that, but I could see it come close and at least uptrend a bit more from where it is now, considering some of this negative news that started hitting. Silver has not really reacted much, and it's honestly still fallen even as news is released, so it seems a bit more negative there. Yeah, man, lately I've only been focusing on the market open because of the extremely low volume and lack of setups in pre-market. Yeah, pre-market's not too bad, you know, it's just tough to trade, of course, especially options. Like, you know, you can't really, so in some cases, I like to definitely wait till open, but it's weird how much the pre-market and after-hours action really affects the market. There's like some stats out there that if you missed all of the gap ups and gap downs and pre-market and after-hour movement over the past like 20 years, your profits on SPY would be like halved or maybe even more than halved or something. It's wild. I can't believe how much it plays a role for the longer term. SPY right back to break even on the day, sitting right around 692. See how TLT's doing, because it died this morning with that jobs data hitting. TLT really got hit. TLT had been trying to bounce back a little bit in the short term, but got smacked again. It could be very fun if we start to see TLT uptrend in a massive way. Is the market overbought as a whole? Seems like there have been so many strong moves to the downside lately. It really is overbought as a whole, Barely Human. It really is. A lot of people, you know, traders have blinders on, right? Traders will trade things higher no matter what. Algos will follow those traders a lot. But at some point, something starts to give. People start to think things are too high. there's a lot of people right now that really think that we're in like a dot-com bubble type of era. It doesn't mean that we're at the top yet, but since this recent dip, SPY has popped up 43% from April 2025, which is essentially like a year and a couple months ago. Less than a year ago, I should say. It's only a couple months away from being a year. And whenever we look at SPY, that's a massive recovery within that time frame. So what we're really looking at here is a huge overextension without any real pullback mixed in. So traders are naturally thinking that stocks are overvalued right now. At the same time, there's a lot of fear coming out about AI bubble. Google search trends have been exploding the past year with AI bubble searches on the rise. It's starting to become something that traders fear of a lot more. So I would say that we're at that point of being overextended, but it's not just being overextended. It's also that we're at the point that traders are starting to catch on and realize that we're getting overextended. It doesn't mean the market can't keep going, because it definitely can. You know, it could continue up for quite a while before the ultimate pullback, but I like the overall prospect here of a slowdown. I love the uptrend the SPY's been in, and I'm not truly shifting until we see that give out. But I do think that we are nearing the point of an event. Very overbought, Tangi says. Yeah, especially with some individual stocks, but I would say the overall market 100%. We look at a lot of data on the nightly videos that suggest this as well. One of the biggest things is the Buffett indicator has been at a crazy level recently. MACD and RSI are maxed out. Wow, SPY just got through 692.50, guys. Ripped right through there. Still on the uptrend from that low of day today. The bulls who are buying up this staircase must be very, very happy. One bad news from Apple, and the market would have collapsed, so it's hard to trade with that kind of condition. Apple was having some pretty bad news earlier over the past couple of years, really. I mean, Apple's been pretty negative recently, but they started, when I say recently, I mean like end of 25 into this new year, but they've really made a bounce back here. This has been one hell of a comeback by Apple. Today, it's hard to not continue to go back and look at Apple, check in on it. It's still up, pushing 280 right now. This is getting crazy. Glad you got busy and didn't play today, Jenny said. Or Jen 9. You're glad you got busy and didn't play. The chop didn't go well for you? Tangy Man said he did get stopped out on VST. Little 3% gain over a week or so, you'll take it. Vistra. And it tried to bounce back again today, too. Tesla's recovering back here. This is a pretty big point of contention for the market. Oh, gosh, Robert, I feel bad. Forgot about KB. Sorry, Robert. I got so into gold. You could have just thrown it in the chat. Sorry about that. He says, get it today, y'all. Good luck, have fun. KBE, let's see that. The recent big money trade. But KBE's been exploding recently with banks moving higher. Gosh, it's hard to go short on these banks. I know you keep looking at KBE, Robert. The banks haven't shown any true sign of slowing down yet. Even when JP Morgan fell, KBE didn't even drop. I feel like KBE looks pretty bullish right now, Robert. There's a few things that I'm watching for in the immediate short term with KBE. I really like this recent wick that's extending up to $65.80 to $66. That's a very big level. If we start to see KBE pull under that in the short term, I think that there could be a put opportunity as KBE starts to fall back towards like $62 support, maybe $63.30. But I mainly would be looking for 62 or lower there, given where it bounced in the past. So I like it, but it's really continuing this uptrend in a very strong way on the broader side of things here. It's never really showing that there's any true breakdown occurring. It's just very small pullbacks on the way up and then breakouts coming into play. So it's really hard for me to go against this trend right now. I'm definitely leaning more towards the upside and the trend continuing for the most part. Now, if we do see SPYs shift and we see financials like banks really start to pull back hard, then I'll start to get a bit worried. Now, some of these did pull back fairly hard recently, but again, KBE didn't really fall with a lot of those banks. Let's go look at KBE holdings and see what we're looking like there. All right, just as I thought, their top holdings are a bit different. WSFS Financial Corp is their top holding. BPOP, Popular Inc., GBCI, Glacier Bancorp, AX, Axos Financial, PNC Financial Group, up around the top as well. But look at their list of holdings. It's not necessarily the banks that, you would be thinking of. And that's important to keep in mind when you're thinking of, banking ETF like that. Now, again, they have a lot of holdings, though, so just keep that in mind. The ones I showed you were just the top 15. But, yeah, I'm definitely leaning more up there. All the super chats come from the profits, so you don't mind. Hey, there we go. Oh, no worry at all, Robert. I just know that you're always looking at it. Look at Zom, Aoli says. Still right around the high of the day. That is beautiful. Sorry about that, guys. Typing something out there. Lost audio? Sorry about that. The music actually ended. The YouTube video did. That was bad timing. Right as I was typing something. My fault, Steven. SNDK is making that move back up. SanDisk, is it? 1 minute chart. Coming back very well. Yeah, no kidding. Right back towards the high of the day. Breaking through $600 right now. Damn. SPY 693.50, still slow chop higher. What if it comes all the way back? What are you guys gonna think? That's pretty wild, isn't it? Tangy. Ground control to Major Tom. Check your radio. Over. You forgot to say over. My grandpa, whenever he was older, we would talk on the phone all the time, you know, about stocks and all types of stuff. And he'd always say, over and out, was his catchphrase. It was funny. Probably chopping now, Zachary said. I don't know. We might just get that slow, methodical rise back. It's pretty good so far. Nvidia's almost all the way back. Yeah, it is kind of funny, isn't it, Jake? Wonder what they'll say about me. All right, guys. Let's go. Let's have a great rest of the day. It's time to go get some breakfast. Or brunch, I guess. I hope everybody has a great one. We had a pretty good start to the morning, though. Wild action. Definitely some good PA to trade. You had to have a big mental shift at open, though. My gosh. That price action was very surprising to me today. The SPY is essentially where it closed yesterday, so almost like this move never even happened. At least as of now. Pretty crazy to say, though. Checking some news last minute. Just triple checking. Don't see anything. Okay, there we go. Check our watch list one last time. SNDK up 10%. Still on the watch list here, pushing the high of the day. Not able to break through. SNDK back under 600 actually. Wow. Right back down. Okay, guys, we're ending it there. Tonight is live Q&A night, though. Don't forget that. If you're not yet in the trading floor, check out the link that I'm sending in the chat to join up to the live Q&A tonight. Get in on the trading floor. The Surge bot. Hybrid bot. Lots of opportunities out there. Big updates coming as well throughout the year this year. Come learn some new strategies if you're into options. The education is far and above. Very, very important. Other than that, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Walk away with some profits today. I know it's been a bit of a weird trading day. Some people like days like this. Some people don't. If it's not your type of day, don't feel the need to push it. But I hope that everybody has a great one, and I will talk to you later. See ya.